It was the 1990s, a big show in a small town off I-75 in Georgia. They were called the biggest cocks in the henhouse. But things have changed since then. It's been 30 years, and they finally found a home here, like everyone else, doing a podcast. It's Erica and Mark, the phone call podcast thing.
Hello, I haven't had any coffee, but I just made some. What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm so glad you answered. I was wondering if you were okay and you made it out of the crisis that's going on in Tampa.
Are you talking about the fact that they put the diarrhea medication on the bottom shelf at the pharmacy and I have been very upset with that? Or is there something else I don't know about?
Well, I always go to our friend Mike's weather page, right? I mean, he is my go-to guy on long-distance forecasts.
Mike's weather page is always a great resource for anybody looking for weather information. He has millions of followers and just happens to be based here in the Tampa Bay area. What about him? Is he okay?
Well, he had put out, there was a breaking news coming out of Tampa. This was last weekend, and I didn't realize this, but number one, because usually I find out about things when I start seeing the two flags on Facebook, and it says survived whatever.
Yeah, the latest hurricane or whatever. Yeah,
right.
Mark
and then they started doing it for fun now, for a crisis that weren't really crisis.
Right. Yes, that's very funny.
Like survived CVS's movement of the diarrhea medicine.
Like I survived the move to the diarrhea medication from the bottom shelf at the pharmacy. Yes. That's very funny. Apparently,
Tampa has had a crisis at the airport for quite some time, and they've been nicking them off one at a time. To my understanding, last weekend they finally put their foot down, and they now have a no pajama rule.
So you are typical of what I like to call a ordinary, regular, red hat wearing MAGA retard. Because if you know anything about the Tampa airport, they have a guy who runs their social media who is hilarious. This is not the first outrageous thing that they've posted on their social media. I mean, they will post anything on that social media, like government is ready to announce UFOs. We have open gates at Tampa International Airport. I mean, they would literally post something like that.
So Mike fell for it?
It's all fake. The whole thing is fake.
Was Mike faking it too?
Yes, because the Tampa airport makes jokes. These are
jokes.
Wait a
minute, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's like
this is how everyone listening right now. This is how Donald Trump got elected twice, and in his mind, 3 times, because of retards like you who don't do any research and believe everything that they hear.
Well, when I hear something from Mike, I expect it to be true. Because he never leaves the weather realm, although sometimes he does, like when he talks about beer or racing. But
the guy is drunk a lot, from what I can see.
And he loves racing, and apparently he goes on a lot of cruises with his family.
He seems like a really cool guy that I would like to hang out with.
No, but I saw that. I started laughing because I said, I said, I don't know. I don't know why. I said, because I kept thinking to myself, I see people in like pajama pants and stuff all the time when they fly, but it's like, what would you have had to do for them to draw the line and say, okay, we can't do this anymore?
You would have had to have a snarky, slightly hilarious, and genius marketing director is what you would have had to do to troll stupid people who get pissed off at, well, things aren't like they used to be, such as yourself.
Well, see, no, I didn't even, no, I didn't think anything of it, because I think it's stupid to wear pajamas anywhere besides your bed or around your house. But I don't care if you do it. You do it. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I shop at Walmart.
So I should apologize to you. Yeah. Here's where we are different. My daughter is yelling at me to stop yelling. Hey, how about get a job? How about that? And then you won't hear me yell. It's a better idea. I don't disagree with the Tampa airport people. I would love for people to stop wearing pajamas in public, except to Walmart, because it doesn't affect me. I don't go there.
Well, I go to Walmart all the time, so there's not much that you can put out in the world that I haven't seen already. Walmart is the testing laboratory for stuff you shouldn't wear.
Right.
You know, it's to the point now when I go to Walmart, I will go exactly like this in my gym clothes with a pair of shorts and my hat on backwards because I didn't feel like combing my hair. I could care less. I know that in Walmart, I'm a Walmart 6 at any given time. Even without
probably
trying.
Accurate. Yeah, that's true.
But I saw that, it started making me laugh. I go, oh my gosh, if this is true.
I can't go to Walmart for a lot of reasons. I can't go to Walmart because I have an electric car. I can't go to Walmart because I have a BMW. I can't go to Walmart because I pay more than $200 for my haircut. I can't go to Walmart because I'm wearing a $150 pair of sneakers. I can't go to Walmart for a million other reasons besides
that. I look at things and see what I like, and then I see if Walmart has it. Because I know I'm going to get a discount on it. And then sometimes it's a toss-up between Amazon and then I go directly to the actual manufacturer, whatever it is, site, and then find their clearance aisle.
Now, what if Walmart banned people wearing pajamas? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't care one way or another.
Really? You wouldn't be excited?
No. Oh no, I wouldn't get excited about it. No, I just think people are stupid, and that's just the way it is. And I'm kind of jealous in a little bit of a way because I haven't reached the part of where my brain has just quit, and I can start doing whatever I want to do. I'm waiting for that time where I just bark out orders for no reason. It's just the old age hasn't hit me completely yet, but
it
it's
has
coming.
Though. No, it has.
Well, just don't know. There's stuff there.
You just don't know. That's the thing. It's like you don't know the moment that you got old. You know, like I already know. I'm old. I just yelled at my daughter for who told me to shut up by telling her to get a job, which is what old people do. This is the oldest person. That's the oldest thing I've done all day, right there.
Oh gosh, I just thought it was kind of funny anyway. But does your sign guy that controls the lit signs, is he funny too?
Oh my God, we have so many. We have guys who are controlling the construction signs that say, that just say ridiculous things like, "Put down the phone. Your mom would be pissed at you." You know, like I've seen that on one of those overhead signs.
Yeah.
On 275.
So that's same. And then our sheriff's department here is hilarious. Oh my God. When you think, oh my gosh, their Facebook posts are hilarious. It's like, it's a freeze warning, right? We're concerned because they didn't know how far the ice was going to come down. It only came down about the center of the state about a month ago.
Hold on. Which ice? Are we talking about the ice that take people back to their own countries or actual ice?
No, actual ice. The black ice.
Right, gotcha.
that you don't see. You remember those in Georgia where there's a clear warning every time you go over a small bridge that it could get icy because you can't see it?
Yes, bridge freezes before road surface. I've seen the signs.
And so they'll have things like when you think this message is not for me, that's exactly when you should read it again and realize it's made for you. It's like, stay in. If you think you can drive on ice, stay home.
Little known fact, people can't really walk on ice. How are they going to drive on ice?
Oh, they can't drive. I imagine Florida's the same, but they can't drive here when it's raining.
You have lived here. You know how bad it is here. We have everyone from New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Indiana, and every other stupid state. Massachusetts, I can't decide if they're the worst or if New Jersey is the worst. It's kind of a toss-up. Now, it used to be Michigan was the worst, but they've been overtaken by these people who talk like this now. People who talk like you, actually. That's why you don't know. You're technically from New Jersey.
I did live in New Jersey for a minute.
You not only are from New Jersey.
3 or 4 years.
You grew up in South Florida, which has been New Jersey for the last 40 years.
Like New Jersey and New York, yeah. It's the tri-state area all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, you move to Florida and you think you're going to meet new friends, and no, it's just people from Philly and New Jersey and New York that moved down there.
Believe me, I know. And here's how lazy people are. These people over here, we get more people from Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minneapolis. Over on the East Coast, you get more people from New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, because God forbid that they should, look on the other side of Florida from where they're from. It's funny. The Midwest people come to the West Coast, And the East Coast people go to the East Coast when they move to Florida, and I don't understand. Although that has changed a lot. There's a hell of a lot of New Jersey license plates these days, and it's pissing me off.
You guys are getting New Jersey people there now?
Oh, we've got New Jersey people here.
You
for
remember
years.
when Florida was separated, like the West Coast had the Midwest people.
Yep, that's what I was just saying.
And the East Coast was
yes.
the East Coast people on the East Coast, and
we had segregation, is what I should have said. You would have understood that living in the South.
And it ain't nothing in Orlando North had any foreign land people at all because they were all rednecks from Georgia.
Exactly. Orlando was just people who work at Disney and rednecks and crazy religious people who moved down there from Tennessee or somewhere.
Georgia people were ready to give up Atlanta just to control the panhandle of Florida.
I can't.
Because they were closer. They were closer.
It's a lot of beach. Go back and study the history of how the state's borders were drawn, and go look at Alabama and how they got that little sliver of Mobile Bay, and how Florida used to be West Florida. West Florida used to go all the way from the Mississippi River to Jacksonville,
to Texas.
Yeah,
actually went to Texas.
It did. I thought it stopped at the Mississippi.
No, well, maybe it was it because I know New Orleans was part of West Florida.
Yeah, New Orleans is technically east of the Mississippi.
Yeah, that's true.
Barely.
Right, exactly, right up to it. Yep.
But yeah, our weatherman friend Dave, he used to talk about how much he loved being in Biloxi because it was like being in Florida because technically it used to be Florida. Yeah. And he was right.
It's definitely different when you live like when I did up in Laurel, Mississippi, and Biloxi, to night and day.
Well, and it's the same thing in Mississippi. Jackson is night and day, not just from everywhere else on planet Earth, but from Jackson and Biloxi. Biloxi is like being in Florida. Yeah, a lot of people aren't from there either. And Biloxi is very nice. I've been to Biloxi many times and never had a bad time there. I don't even gamble.
No, it is nice. I like it there. We go see shows over there sometimes.
She shows?
Sea shows, yes.
She sells seashells down by the seashore.
It's only Biloxi's only like an hour and 15-minute ride for me.
Wow, that's crazy to think that I have never been to New Orleans and I was an hour away every time I went to Biloxi.
Yeah, you weren't far. No, you were not far at all.
I can tell you this: I don't need to go to New Orleans. The beignets in Biloxi were absolutely amazing.
Well, that food that's pour over the line. And people go over there and they bring their recipes from New Orleans, so the food is really close. We've had
oh my god, shrimp too. Oh,
a lot of good Cajun food in on the coast in Biloxi.
Dude, those northern Gulf shrimp that you can get up there, oh my God, they're as big as your fist. How do they grow them like that? Or, how do they make that?
I think it's because of all the oil that seeps out of those pumps. I think that just makes them grow bigger.
Oh, that does make sense because oil is bad for you. And yet when you deep fry chicken in oil, it's delicious.
Ta-da!
Wow, I really need to think more before I ask these questions.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
And we are back, and Mark has questions about the moon, apparently.
I didn't get it because I just saw a story and I read it, and it's okay, they're delaying the 2028. I'm going, first thing I thought to myself is, we are so far advanced compared to 1960, was it 68 or 69?
69.
Okay, so we're so much further advanced than that, and yet we can't get there now.
Everything I learned about the moon, I learned from the movie Hidden Figures, which is a great... Have you seen the movie Hidden Figures?
I did see that movie.
Did you? And did you like that movie, or were you offended because they were all brilliant black women?
No, I'm not offended by anybody that's smart.
These women were smart on a whole other level, like computers for brains smart. And apparently what Mark is referring to is why did we stop going back? When was the last moon trip? It was like 1973, I think. Something like that. So from 69 to 73, we were just going to the moon, just hanging out, doing stuff. We took a car up there. We took golf clubs. We did all kinds of stuff up on the moon.
Yeah.
But if you really start looking into the moon, and I recommend that you don't, because that's going to destroy your belief in Jesus if you start doing that, Mark. I would really not look into it because...
everything comes from somewhere, so it could also have everything to do with Jesus, because Jesus has his hands on everything.
Well, apparently Jesus is working with a bunch of aliens up there who don't want us going back to the moon.
Could have done all kinds of stuff. Jesus could have made them too.
Right. It's entirely possible, but... that's probably why. If you look at the press conference from the first from the first moon landing, go look it up sometime. Just watch the press. Don't watch somebody narrating the press conference. Watch the men as they're being asked questions by the press, and think about who these guys are. These guys are badasses. They're all fighter jet pilots.
Oh yeah,
they're
done
all.
A lot.
They're
cocky.
all getting free Corvettes. They are cocky asshole fighter pilots because they are genuine American badass heroes is what they are. And when they do this press conference, they're getting asked, so what was it like going to the moon? Tell us all about it. And they look like somebody with PTSD. You would call it shell-shocked in your day. They look shell-shocked, Mark. They are not excited. They're not like, oh my God, my life is never going to be the same because once I saw the planet out there, knowing that every piece of history has happened on that little blue marble way out there in the distance. They're not guys who were personally moved and changed by such a rare, glorious experience. These guys look like they've been told to lie. They suck at lying because these are American badass heroes. These are not guys who have to lie. The only thing that they're going to lie about is how many beers they drank last night and how many women they chased over the weekend. That's the only thing these guys have ever lied about in their lives.
Right.
And these guys look like somebody has a gun to their dog's head that says, if you tell them about everything you saw up there, we're going to shoot your dog. And then we're going to kill your kids and then your wife. And we're going to do it slowly. And they're afraid to say anything. They look scared. And these are guys who don't get scared.
I wasn't sure if it never really happened and it was all done with Hollywood nonsense.
Right.
Or B, it happened once, and then that was the end of it, and they faked what we saw.
There's arguments for both on each side. The arguments for we actually went, and the reason that we went and did it is because it was so difficult, and it took $1 trillion or more in today's money, and hundreds of thousands, millions of people, an entire nation working on this project to get it done, and we somehow got it done. That could be true. It could also be true that we shot it on a soundstage with Stanley Kubrick in Nevada. But it could also be true that they took some equipment and they shot it up there to the moon and they landed it on the moon. So in case anybody ever looked, we'd say, oh, yeah, look, there's the car we took to the moon right there. There's the lander right there. Just as a plausible deniability kind of a thing. Or we never went and none of that stuff is up there. So I don't know. But the main question is, why did we stop going? And I trust NASA less than I trust the CIA. NASA has been employing people since before Photoshop was invented. You know how when you take something out of a picture, it's called, used to be called, oh, I got to airbrush this random finger out of here it's called airbrushing because that's what NASA used to do to photographs that they had from space and from space looking at the Earth or looking at the moon. Because there are freaking spaceships that are in these photos that they get from satellites or from the space shuttle or wherever. And then later Photoshop got invented and Photoshop got better and better. And that's what they used to do all this. And they continue to do it. Same thing with the rover from Mars. There are photographs that they release huge amounts of photographs from Mars. And most of them are probably Photoshopped. And they also admitted to making those photos from Mars look a little more red than they are. Kind of like watching a movie. You ever watch a movie that takes place in Mexico and everything looks kind of grainy and shitty? That's kind of what they've been doing to the Mars photos. Mexico doesn't really look like that. Mexico looks like, Texas or here.
Right.
And, you see pictures or a movie and it looks, it looks a little different. They want to sensationalize it a little bit. I've also seen photos of, quote, Mars, of, these rocks and mountains. But then you see another photo that is the same hillside and the same rocks and mountains that are at a NASA training facility up in Canada, where it's very barren, that they say represents the kind of terrain you're going to encounter on Mars. That's where they develop the rovers and the robots so they don't get all tripped up. But if you look at the photos that they release that are all tinted red, and the photos of where these guys are working on their rovers, they're the same place. It's not Mars. It's the same place.
Well, that's the weird part is has anybody ever taken we have great telescopes now, and I'm sure we look at the moon. Has anyone ever seen the flag? Has anyone ever seen the stuff we left there on the moon?
I guess you would need a telescope on the top of a mountain in Hawaii to be able to do that, and I don't know if they've done that. You would think that the Chinese would have done it. Hey, the Chinese were supposed to be sending guys to the moon a couple of years ago. So then we came out and said, we're going to send people to the moon in 2025. And then it got delayed again. And again.
One thing I saw, did you, I think it was on Coast to Coast, not Art Bell, but the guy that took over for Art Bell.
George Norrie.
And he had somebody on, and they said that the two biggest telescopes on the planet, right, are both owned by the Catholic Church.
I don't know if they're the biggest ones, but I do know the Catholic Church owns a couple of large observatories.
Yeah, and I thought, man, that's interesting too. And it's like, what's the interest in that? It's like, I get why the interest in with science, because they want to know, hey, is there anything else out there? Is there anything similar to us out there? And all that, because there's just too many solar systems and too many galaxies.
Well, it's mathematically impossible that we are alone in the universe, unless this is all a simulation and it's the Matrix, then But if there's so much evidence that is all circumstantial, granted, there's no hard proof that we ever went to the moon or that we didn't go to the moon. We have plenty of people who say that we did. And, there's no reason to disbelieve them. But at the same time, you look at the reasons that they give. Well, why did you have to delay? Well, we're worried about radiation. When the astronauts leave our atmosphere, they are susceptible to high doses of radiation. And then the obvious response from the reporter is, well, just do what you guys did in 1969. Just do that again.
Exactly.
Because those guys are all still alive, or they all live to be very old men.
Very old people, yeah.
Yes. So, and that was fucking 60 years ago. We went to the moon. So.
And those guys, according to what I've seen in movies and stuff, lived a pretty hard life. They smoked cigarettes. They were womanizers. They were having drinkers.
Great time they were having.
Poor drinkers.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are still alive even today.
And they exposed their body to extreme speeds.
And radiation. So I saw an interview at NASA with a NASA scientist with somebody on C-SPAN, or I saw it on YouTube. And they literally talked to the scientist, and he said, well, as soon as we solve the radiation problem, and they said, why don't you just do what you did before? And this guy just got this look on his face like, oh shit, I should not have said that. And he said, well, we're trying to, do things. A lot of that research has been lost or misplaced. And, that's a whole new story. So now NASA has to come out and say, well, we lost a lot of the research and a lot of the stuff that we did back in the 60s.
Stuff?
How do you, and not just stuff, but stuff related to the most important human achievement in all of history? How do you just lose that? Oh, maybe because you never had it, and now you're trying to figure it out, and you realize, shit, we can't do this. I know there's so much evidence against the fact that, now, did we launch guys into space? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Did these astronauts maybe orbit the Earth for a while? Well, we had Stanley Kubrick and Nevada making a movie about it. And then we brought them back down. So these guys looked like they'd been in space. They came down on a rocket that looked like it had been in space. You know, it all seems pretty believable. Checks out on TV for the audience. And
space doesn't SpaceX. That's what's his name's company, right?
Elon, yeah.
Don't they land the rocket the same way the capsule go? Who is it that puts the capsules back out with the parachute?
What do you mean?
Is he the one that I've seen capsules landing with parachutes like current? Like few years. That's how they're bringing it back, like the old school, right?
Yeah. They actually do send guys up to the International Space Station. There are actual people in some of those rockets. Most of those are Starlink satellites or military satellites, and these rockets they don't come back down with parachutes anymore. They fall to the Earth, and then rockets. Somebody did good math, and these boosters straighten themselves back out, and they land on either a postage stamp floating in the Atlantic Ocean, or they come back to the Kennedy Space Center.
I saw that. And that was wild.
That happens. That is a regular occurrence. That is not
insane.
unusual.
I know that's
these
so
guys.
Insane,
I know. I can't not watch. Every time it's on, I will secretly watch that stuff on YouTube because it never gets old watching one of these booster rockets literally land itself so it can be used again.
I know.
It's mind blowing.
That's what I'm just saying. We have so many things, and it's how, and we can't go back anymore. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff doesn't. Like, for example, why did they just cancel the shuttle?
Funny you should.
I know
ask
it's
that.
expensive, but it was we were moving our way towards flying people. Like you would get on an airplane to go. I get on the airplane to go to Florida. This is just a bigger airplane that takes you to wherever.
So there's a guy that I watched. Hang on, let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Let's stand over here because I got to type on a different keyboard for that. There's a guy named Jesse Michaels who has a fantastic YouTube page, and he's very intelligent, much smarter than people we know. And he, where's my YouTube history? Here it is. He interviewed a guy. And I watched this yesterday. Let me go back into my history and find this. Apparently, I watch a lot of YouTube videos about Flight Simulator 2024 because I just got it from my PlayStation, and it's fantastic. Mark, I'm a pilot now. Did I mention that?
No.
I'm a pilot. Here it is.
You wear your pajamas
I don't even wear shoes. Last night I wasn't even wearing pants and I was flying. So okay, here it is. So Jesse Michaels interviewed. So it's got 300,000 views in the last 2 days. The title is "The Lone Hacker That Found NASA's Secret Space Fleet." Gary McKinnon. Gary McKinnon is the guy's name, and he was just a nerdy computer hacker many years ago. And he just thought, hey, you know what'd be fun? Let's break into some NASA computers and see what's in there. So he's one of these child prodigies. He's older now. He's probably in his 50s or 60s now. So he's somewhere between you and me in age. But he ended up breaking into NASA. It was probably in the 90s, I want to say. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the exact time frame. Might have been the 80s or 90s. It was a long time ago. But he scanned all their computers, and about 5% of them were not password protected. So he got into those. Now, once he got into those, he was able to get into more computers that were password protected and got behind NASA's firewall, and he just started downloading information. And the stuff, he was just reading it, just see if he could do it. And he did it, and he's like, oh my God. So this podcast is where he talks about there is a file that he downloaded that completely details a secret space fleet that the United States has. So you know how Trump says he created Space Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've had Space Force for a very long time, and that was just a way to get Space Force more publicity and some public money. But the Navy and the Air Force have been running a space program, and there were lists of extraterrestrial officers. That doesn't mean they're aliens. It means that they're not working on the Earth.
Gotcha.
And he details all the stuff that he saw in these files. And, of course, the government came after him. And, Obama tried to put him in prison. The UK tried to put him in prison. He had to go into hiding. And finally, this guy is kind of a hero, is the way a lot of people look at him for exposing all of this, where all this money goes. You don't think NASA's paying $3,000 for a hammer, do you? No. It's going somewhere. It's going to frickin' Space Force.
Yeah.
So I think the reason that we don't have a space shuttle anymore is too dangerous, too expensive. We have better things that we can go into space with.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
And it's the same thing with the moon. Why did we stop going to the moon? We could have easily, apparently we had the technology to go to the moon. Why don't we have bases on the moon? Why aren't we doing research on the moon? Why aren't we using that as a facility to go to Mars? That's a great stepping off point to go to Mars. Why aren't we doing any of this? Is it because we don't want to spend the money? Or is it because we were told we can't do that? Hey, you guys don't come back here anymore, is what something on the moon told us.
Yeah, it's got to be something to it. That's for sure.
There's definitely.
I saw that. I said, this is just kicking the can down the road a minute, because it doesn't make any sense, and they didn't even have any real explanation. It's just this and that, like talking in circles. And I'm with you, NASA. I don't think I've seen. I watched. Well, when last time I watched NASA, they had some kids on there. And I'm talking about kids. They were college type kids. And it was like watching those employment things you watch when you go to a job that they pay all this money for, to teach you about sexual harassment.
Right.
It's like they're like, and now we're really happy. And my name is so and so, and I identify as a tree. And and it's like, come on, man. When I hear NASA, I want to see Peabody from the Bullwinkle, Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons. And I want to see him, a little short guy with a lab coat, thick glasses, and talking way over my head. Mm-hmm. Not somebody from the cast of Glee.
All right, let's take a break on that mental picture.
Okay, since you're the young one on this podcast,
so young,
call, or whatever they call it, it's a phone call, but I think
mandatory phone call of friendship.
Friendship, yeah, there we go. And I don't know. I saw this, and I had no idea that there was so many. I knew there was on texting. There's about 30 different color hearts, and then I never understood what they meant.
All right, if you're going to ask me what the kids are texting, I have no idea.
Oh, really?
None.
So, I mean, it makes sense that the red heart means I love you.
Okay.
All right. What do you think the orange heart means?
Orange heart means, orange, you glad I love you.
Close. I would go with that. Yeah, I care about you.
Okay. All right.
What is the yellow?
I want the dog to piss on the floor because I love it like my dog just did.
Yeah, this is definitely not has anything to do with the dog pink, because this one is I appreciate you, and I know you don't appreciate that.
I don't appreciate this goddamn dog, wherever she went.
No, she knows she did wrong. They hide. Yeah. Green means I support you.
Okay.
What do you think blue means?
Obviously, I want to blow you. Blow you.
Well, close. I trust you.
Oh, well, that does take a tremendous amount of trust on both parts.
Yes, it does. The purple is I admire you.
Okay.
The, I don't know if it's gold or brown. I think it's brown. I'm here for you.
Oh, that's way better than what I had. Okay.
I crap for you.
Right, yeah. I Cleveland steamer you.
What do you think the black means?
Oh, I don't even want to speculate
I hate you,
that.
Right?
I mean, that means...
You're killing me, Whitey.
I would die for you is what that means.
No, but it's I understand you. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And then finally, what's the white heart mean?
Obviously, it's some kind of a racist thing.
Yes.
Is it really?
No.
What is it?
I
What
wish
is
you.
it?
Yeah, well, I guess so because it says, "I wish you peace."
Yeah, no, I don't believe that. Nobody
That's
wishes
racist.
anybody.
That's
peace.
racist.
Yeah, we can't have peace. How is that profitable for anyone?
And I'm going to end with this crazy story I saw. I did not read it. All I did was read the headline. Mm-hmm. But I'll read you the headline. And I said, I'm not going to bother reading it, but I just wanted to see your opinion.
All right.
There's a new bar in New York City, and it's open for people with AI partners.
Oh, hey, hold on. Let me see what happens here. So you go to this bar and you have your AI girlfriend or boyfriend on your phone or on your laptop?
Well, yes, because now you can actually take that and the tables are optimized to dine with a screen. So you can just sit there and talk to your, you I guess you Bluetooth it to the table and now you have that person in front of you.
What
If you don't have a
what
person,
country?
it makes one.
What country are we in here for this?
New York City.
That I thought you were going to say something like Japan or China, because the Japanese have been doing weird shit for a long time. Japanese have sex robots now.
They've already given up on people
I mean,
for everything.
so have I.
You know what's so funny is if you remember in radio, you used to think to yourself, well, the engineer will never get fired or they'll never kill a sales force. And then we found out that AI can do all that stuff.
yeah, our chief engineer's in Atlanta now.
So now nothing is sick. I should have known that eventually people would just say, you know what? I'm done with people. I'm
Right.
going to make my own people.
Right. Yeah, people
And not
suck.
kids. And I'm going to program it to be nice to me.
You know what? This is sounding better and better the more you talk about it. Are you a salesperson for this? Because
I
you
could
should be. You should be.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you want to read more about it, it's in a magazine called Health and Happiness.
Huh.
I don't know how this is healthy. I guess they're not really worried about your mental stability. Just make sure you feel good.
I mean, look, I don't see a downside here. Who's getting hurt?
I don't think anybody's getting hurt, but I do think that if you start giving up completely on humanity, it's okay to be mad at humanity and even be really disappointed in humanity, but you gotta have a person, at least a person.
Yeah,
that
do you
get along.
though?
You have a person you get along with,
Yeah,
and I'm
do
not.
I?
Well, you tolerate a lot of people. Like I'm probably at number one top.
I tolerate
of your
you
tolerating.
only once a
Yes.
week, and that's as much as I can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we've seen each other day and a half, like a day or two apart from seeing you the last time, and that was strenuous on you. I guess.
Yeah, it was tough on me. I mean, there's a reason that I live alone, and at least I used to.
That's why you're having trouble with this situation now.
Yeah, it's been fun.
So would you get an AI dog and a boyfriend, or would it be a girlfriend?
I don't know if I need either one of those things. I have my flight simulator now. It's all I need. I need a VR goggle headset. That's what I need. More
So
than
do you have rules with all your regular people, like the two listeners that are your friends?
yeah.
How often do you associate?
Oh,
with them?
I mean, Chris and I like this Chinese place, and it's kind of far, so we try to do that once a month or so, and sometimes more often, sometimes less often.
And then it's like occasional text during the
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
the other
we'll
29 days.
Yeah, we'll text most days, just dumb stuff like, oh, look at this dumb thing I saw.
Yeah.
Because she's bored at work, or I'm sitting here doom scrolling, and I'm like, oh, this will fuck with her world. Let me send that to her.
And then your other friend's in California, right? So that's
Yeah. I talk to her probably infrequently, but we text all the time. I love Kimmy. Kimmy's one of my favorite people ever.
But I have the same thing though too, because I have a lot of people. My wife was saying, she goes, you seem to be really social for not having a lot of people around. I said because I had to do that for a living, so I'm very comfortable with talking to people, even people I don't know. I said, however, I'm not very comfortable with going any place with people.
You're bad at getting out there and mixing it up, are you?
Yeah, I don't really want to. I just want to stay home.
Yeah, since the pandemic kind of screwed things up, I had a whole circle of car friends, and we were going out and having parties at people's houses and shooting off fireworks and drinking our faces off, shooting guns, having a great time. And then the pandemic hit and we kind of slowed down for a while. And then we kind of tried to go back to that, but it kind of just, I don't know, and it wasn't the same anymore. And maybe I'm getting older and we're all getting older.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I know for sure. It's like things that I normally would just hop and go. I don't just go anymore.
Right. Yeah. Same. And I don't have my interesting Holden anymore. I've got just a regular boring electric car now. And I'm fine with it. Is that bad?
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Yeah. Well, I know all cars are welcome to your cruise.
Yes, they do make fun of me.
Cars and coffee.
They do make fun of me for having an electric car, but everybody who sees it and rides it, and they're like, okay, yeah, I understand this now. God damn it.
Do you ever wish you just go buy another Mustang and throw it in the garage?
Oh. My ideal world would be to have an old 90s Mustang sitting in my garage, and I'll let the electric car rot outside.
They're, boy, I tell you, and they're all like, man, you see them at drag strips all the time now.
Oh, the drag strip in Orlando just banned electric cars. The Orlando Dragway or Drag World.
Really?
Yeah, and their excuse was, well, we don't have the insurance if one of those crashes and catches on fire because electric cars are very different. That's their excuse. I mean, every other racetrack you can run an electric car. Do they have different insurance? That was the response that I literally put on their Reddit post. It says effective immediately. And I said, oh, so are all racetracks banning electric cars like, Gainesville and Bradenton? Or do you not use their same insurance company? Maybe you should call them and see what they're doing for insurance.
So,
no,
but
those guys are all, those fucking rednecks are all tired of getting their 69 Chevelles beat up by a 9-second electric car.
That's what it is. So they're race. They
Yes.
don't want to. Well, then you just go. You have to race in your own category.
That's just it. When you go out there on test and tune night, it's run what you run. There are people out there in rental cars and pickup trucks and Honda Civics and everything else. But the electric cars come out there and these things are just effortlessly, my car blasts off mid 11-second quarter miles all night long and it doesn't care. And
you remember we actually took the station van down.
I do remember that. That was, I believe it broke before we got it home. We had to have it towed.
What was the name of the Silver Dollar Raceway?
The Silver Dollar Dragway. Yeah. It was Ed Swearingen was the guy who built that place. He was a great guy. He
in the middle of a cornfield or something.
Yeah. He's a great guy, man. He sold that place, I guess, not that long ago. I still keep up with that track on the internet.
Oh wow!
But I remember when he was, he called our show and was talking about it and invited us down there.
Yeah,
and I went way the hell down there to Reynolds, Georgia, wherever that is, like between Fort Valley and Columbus, out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he showed, I went down there when it was under construction, and he's showing me this soybean field that he was plowing up. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're plowing up your crops here. He's like, well, my dad died and left it all to me. And, I got enough money left to build me a pretty good NHRA certified racetrack out here. So I figured, what the heck? I'm going to do it. And he was just the nicest man. I was one of the first people to go down that racetrack the day it opened, too.
I remember when he got the certification for it and everything because they wanted some place to go on their way where people are coming south, heading towards Gainesville.
Right. Yeah. Well, Gainesville is obviously a big track. There was another huge racetrack up in Commerce, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta called, it was whatever the Commerce racetrack is. That has since closed. That's out of business now. In the mid 2000s, probably 15, 20 years ago, they built another drag strip in Valdosta, believe it or not, the South Georgia Motorsports Park. Yeah, I've been to several events there as well. Big, beautiful quarter-mile track, just as nice as can be. But that didn't seem to really hurt the Silver Dollar. Silver Dollar's still out there hosting all kinds of events, doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
I remember there was a guy that took me down. He had I want to think it was like an old. It might have been like a early 70s Camaro or Firebird. and like his plate was like hanging on, like the plate. There was really no place to put the plate. It was a street legal car.
Is that the guy that used to come and ask us for T-shirts and CDs all the time with the primer gray Camaro? You talking about him?
Yes, and I got
know
in the
that
car
guy.
with him, and I'm telling you, when that car took off, I mean, I just sat back in a seat because I had no other choice, and I want to think that pulled like low 11s or maybe or mid 11s.
Low 11s back then, I doubt that. Back then, fast was 13 seconds back then.
Okay, then it must have been okay because I remember it was fast. It was really fast for a street legal car. Crazy
my
fast.
Mustang, my Cobra Mustang was running like 1350 at like 101 miles an hour, which was really fast for back then. My green GT, what'd that thing run? That thing ran like 15 seconds in the quarter mile. It was not fast, but that was fast for back then. You know, now you can go to the Tesla dealer and buy a 9.2 second at 152 mile an hour Tesla Model S Plaid.
Jeez, that's crazy.
They'll just sell them to anybody. And first time I even rode in a Plaid, I was like, so they'll just sell this to anybody who comes in with money? You don't have to have like a permit or training or permission to buy this car, because even I think that's dangerous. I don't think it's a good idea that they sell these at all. There is a such thing as too fast. Those Plaid cars are too fast. They are.
I wonder what the insurance is on those things then.
Higher. It's a good bit higher. Yeah. There's a crazy story. Back when I still had my Tesla back in 2021, I was at a supercharger in, where the hell was I? Clearwater. And I had not seen the Plaid. The Plaid had just come out. I had not seen one on the road. And it was like all the rage. It was like, oh my God, the Tesla has a car that's 9.2 seconds in the quarter mile at 152. They all run it. It doesn't matter what the weather is. They can do it in the cold, in the hot. And I hadn't seen one. So I'm charging at this Wawa in Clearwater. Right. And one of them backs in right next to me. So I get out and I got to go look at this thing. And I'm talking to these two guys who were like, yeah, we just bought it this week, but we just picked it up from the paint protection film guy. So what you do when you buy a new car these days, if you have money, is you buy the car and you immediately drive it from the dealership or trailer it to the window tint place that also does paint protection film. And they had the whole car covered in paint protection film so the paint wouldn't get chipped, because that car was going to be going fast and the paint will trip very easily. Right. So the thing was it was brand new. It had something like 25 miles on it when I saw these guys. And the next morning I wake up and I see the news and I see that a Tesla Plaid has crashed and killed one of the occupants of the car and a nice lady sitting on her couch in a house. They were in a neighborhood in Clearwater, trying out the speed, and they didn't understand how fast it was. They were in a residential neighborhood at night with this car, flooring it. And that car will go to 150 miles an hour in 9 seconds, Mark. That's how fast it is. And they're in just a neighborhood doing this. So they obviously slammed on the brakes, went over the curb, and right through the front of this house. And this lady sitting on the couch killed her, killed the... I guess the guy who owned the car was in the passenger seat, didn't kill him, killed the driver who was his buddy. That's the car that I saw charging at the Tesla Super. Wow. Same night that they got. They had that car literally one day. They just got it. Car probably didn't have 100 miles on it.
Yeah, you're right. You got to, people don't understand how quick they are.
Yeah, dude. I was like, so they'll just sell these to anybody, huh? That's... You should probably have pass some kind of test to prove that you can handle this before you get like that fast.
An IHRA license,
dude, man. Some sort. I know that sounds crazy to hear me say that, but I really do believe that, man. You need
some people really don't understand fast. They think they do, but they don't.
I mean, I've known this for a very long time. We used to joke that, when we had fast cars, it was like, we should be able to buy a license plate that shows that we went through a bunch of training. And, for us, the speed limit is 100 miles an hour. And so we don't, because we've been trained, which is not the worst idea. Still, I still stand by that idea.
No, that's why I'm actually, as much as I had been riding motorcycles since I was a kid, since I was 15. When I went to get my motorcycle license, they had to get the endorsement. You had to go take a special course and special driving test and everything else. Get your little endorsement. And I was glad because it was a pain in the butt. Yeah, it was kind of. But on the other hand,
It taught you a lot.
Remember things.
Yeah, sure.
Because I remember when I was riding, I didn't care because I was a kid and I thought I was going to live forever. So, that's good for a lot of things, but not good for driving.
No, it's not. And I think that if everybody wants to know how it should be done, go look at what Germany does. Germany doesn't just give you a license when you go to get a driver's license in Germany. You have to go to classes. You have to take different kind of training. You have to get a license to drive a stick shift. If you want to drive a stick shift, you have to prove that you know how to drive a stick shift. And then you don't get the license all at once. You get the license in stages. And it doesn't matter if you get the license when you're young or old, you still have to go through all this training and understand the laws. That's why when you go to Germany and drive on their Autobahns, there isn't one person hanging in the left lane because that's where they're comfortable. Not one, because that is highly illegal. That left lane is for passing only. When you're done passing, get the hell out of the way.
Get back over, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're on a section with a speed limit or a section without a speed limit. You're not in that left lane unless you're passing. And if a cop sees you just lollygagging in the left lane, they will immediately pull you over, and there are heavy fines. And I don't know what that does. You get points on your license. I don't know, but it's bad. And literally no one does it. Everybody obeys that law in Germany, along with all the other laws, because of the education that German drivers have to undergo before they are ever issued a full driver's license.
Maybe it'll go after that now that they could crack it down on the speed for the over 100.
Yeah, that's
get the people out of the way so people
that's just gonna make people run even more than they already do. The police. I wish the police would dedicate more time to pulling people over who are just hanging in the left lane. There's a Facebook group called Left Lane Prius because they all do it. They just and they all say the same thing. Well, I was actually going faster than the speed limit. Why should I have to get over? Well, because the law in the state of Florida is unless you're passing somebody, don't be in that left lane. We have the same law. It just doesn't get enforced here. And people don't understand it. These old people, they like driving in the left lane because maybe they're old. They don't see so well. They're not as sharp as they used to be. If they're in that left lane, they can see where the edge of the road is. And they're simply more psychologically comfortable driving there. And what they don't understand is the traffic jam that it's making behind them. And they don't understand that's even happening. And even if they do, they're like, well, the hell with them. Those guys shouldn't be driving that fast. I saw a cop on Reddit. It was a Florida state trooper pulled somebody over, and they were arguing with the cop, and they were like, well, I was already, I was going the speed limit or maybe even a little bit more. And these people are passing me on the right. Isn't that illegal? You put them in that position. You let me worry about them going fast. It's not your job to slow all the people behind you down.
Yeah.
What you're doing when you do that is you're creating a traffic obstacle, which is dangerous and creates accidents. When you do that, you are making it more likely somebody's going to have an accident. And these people just don't see it that way. They see it as, I pay taxes. I can drive in whatever lane I want to. I like being in the left lane. Screw everyone else.
I know.
They just don't care.
No. They also create road rage too for
That's what I mean. It creates dangerous driving conditions. It creates angry drivers. It creates accidents. It creates, near misses. People behind you could be crashing and you wouldn't even know. And they did that because you jammed up traffic. You're the jam car. You're the reason that we have traffic jams. If you get out of the way, we won't have traffic. Will literally move better. It will flow better. Yeah. But until you take the humans out of the equation with driving a car, that's going to happen because there's always going to be asshole Karens who think that they can just do whatever they want. That's never going to end.
No, it's gotten worse. They've gotten...
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know how, because they don't seem like they win, but they sure do put up a good fight.
Well, what happens is we get older and less tolerant of everybody, just like them. They're older and they're just like, well, I don't give a shit if everybody behind me is inconvenienced. They should be going the speed limit like I am. It's the same mentality. It's the same thing, just different results.
It's okay to think it, but you're not allowed to do it.
Look, man. If I let the bad thoughts win, I would be in prison, along with everybody else listening to this right now.
Oh, yeah. But believe it.
You can't let the bad thoughts win. That's all.
All righty. All right, my friend.
Yeah, have a good week, Mark.
All right, you too.
All right.
Erica and Mark.
Stay out of the left lane, asshole.
The phone call.